screen are Evan Ingram's huge play, Troy Franklin's 2 touchdowns, and RJ Harvey finally figuring out how to run inside the tackles.
Yeah, RJ Harvey is where you start because that was a huge difference. I go into games in preseason mainly of what am I going to see that I haven't seen before. You and I have seen RJ Harvey run between the tackles in practice. Mm-hmm. We've seen him praised for that. That happened, I believe it was last Wednesday, where it was a lighter day, but they had an emphasis on making sure that RJ was going where the track was. The entry point is what Mark Schlereth says. And if I've learned a thing or two in 20 years of broadcasting, I'll do my Mike Evans thing. It's been 84 years. Listen to Mark Schlereth when it comes to what happens when they run the ball. Entry point needed to be right on the money. You need to enter where the play is meant for you to go and then make your choice of which lane you're going to bend, bang, or bounce to. You saw that. Go back and watch that touchdown run. I was watching it just during the break of look at him create something out of nothing. There's supposedly no hole in front of him, but if he trusts when it's going to be there, by the time that he's there, it's there and it's gone, but he's already to and through the hole. It's brilliant. It's a beautiful thing to see RJ Harvey do that, because if he does that, that's how he takes over as the lead back. That's how, because there is a certain level of worry. Now, I am perhaps a little bit too laid back. I'll say that in my personal life and in my public persona.
Sure.
I'm pretty laid back. I just try to be, because when I was younger, you know what I did? I worried about everything.
Worried about it all.
I worried about it all, and then I usually would create something that I didn't want because I worried about, I think she's cheating on me, and then guess what?
Yeah.
Old Shannon was at my house when I was working at 7-Eleven.
Damn it, Shannon.
I hate Shannon. Stupid guy. Anyway.
If this show ever sees Shannon or Linus Kleza again, it's on site, baby.
It is. We don't even say anything. That's it, right? We just go to town.
That's right.
But I'm trying not to worry as much about things now as a senior. But I'll tell you this, kind of a little worried about what happens when J.K. Dobbins isn't here next year. If, in fact, that is the case. It's not forever. Well, they got Dobbins, and if he's good this year, then they just keep him forever. That's not the case. I want to see that confidence in RJ Harvey that you're not just a part of a committee. You're the man, and then someone gives you a breather. I want RJ Harvey to be like Alvin Kamara, where it's like, okay, you're the man, and someone else is going to get some touches too because you need a breather. And that someone else can be pretty good. J.K. Dobbins is really good. J.K. Dobbins at this current incarnation right now, today, August 19th, J.K. Dobbins is better than RJ Harvey. I want by about week 6, we have that idea of no, RJ's going to be better, and it's not a little bit better. RJ's going to be a lot better than J.K. Dobbins. And then next year, your decision on Dobbins isn't really about Dobbins. It's about how good RJ is, because if RJ can take over and be that guy that gets 75% of the work, and you just need someone to clean up for 25%,
yeah.
Hey, Tyler Bidet, what are you doing, girl? You want a little more? Right? That's how the Broncos need to look at this thing. So for me with Saturday, and there's so much to get to, the hustle of Dondre Tillman, the hustle of Jonah Ellis, all these reserve players making plays, except Amari Mathis and Audric Estime. They're gone. Bye-bye.
Mathis got beat by a tight end, bro.
Yeah.
And bad.
Bad. It was bad. It was bad. I liked Amari, but yeah, it's really bad. I look at RJ, and his future is really good. So whereas Pat Bryant was amazing and Troy Franklin was amazing, I've seen them do that. Now, Bryant, not in a regular season game. Obviously, he's a rookie. But I had more worry about RJ and that track he was on, because in practice, he was banging it inside. And then he'd get in a game against the 49ers,
and he'd default to the wrong instincts.
Exactly. He'd go back to the college game, and this ain't UCF.
No.
So,
well, more importantly, it's not Big 12 defenders chasing your ass down.
Yeah. Do the Dan Hawkins. It's the Big 12. No, it isn't, Dan. It's the NFL. And, you've got to know that everybody's fast. Everybody's disciplined. Your dance moves, your juke moves aren't really going to work. Not like they did in college. No. So when you're facing flat-footed defenders that, are worried about going to class, if they are even worried, probably not. But, now RJ, now that I've seen it, I feel much more confident in RJ Harvey taking over in this backfield in week 6.
I like what you said, too, about it's RJ's and then you kind of plug and play.
Yeah.
And like I said, you have that for 4 or 5 years right now because of the draft status and him being super young. You could, if things work out the right way with JK, you could think about this backfield for 2 or 3 years And then you might have to replace JK and have a couple of more years left with RJ as the veteran at that point. It'd be 4 years of NFL experience as the veteran. And then you could start that process all over again where RJ's JK and you draft another guy and you have another 5 years, 4 years with that group as RJ starts to get out of the league.
Yeah, Phil, cover your ears if you're listening. Like, it's a running back's a young man's game.
Heck yeah,
and they're going to use you up, and they're going to move on to the next guy because for me, and maybe it's my coldness of just witnessing this league and how cold it is for the running back position, I'm not even thinking about JK next year. And it sounds really, really cruel what I'm about to say, but I feel it's true, and I feel that this is how all teams operate. Yeah, use them up. J.K. Dobbins, can he be healthy 17 games? Yeah, okay. Use him up.
Mm-hmm.
What about next year? I don't care.
Yeah.
Use him up. J.K. Dobbins is really talented. J.K. Dobbins is your lead back right now. But R.J. Harvey showed that potential to take over as the lead back this year. And what's that mean for J.K.? It means, well, if you do stay healthy, you're auditioning for other teams, and someone else will give you a one-year deal. You're at that point in his career. You're facing one-year deals really no matter where you go. So for me, the future of this backfield is all about R.J. Harvey. And yes, it's one preseason game. But in that one game, he kind of squelched any sort of doubt you would have about his ability at the pro level in terms of getting inside running.
Well, you know what? I think this is one of the bigger things that hadn't been talked about yet with RJ's willingness to take instruction and then show it in a game. It's exactly that. He's not stubborn. You and I sat here for an entire season last year going, why is Javonte going east and west? Why does he dance? We did that every single Monday for 17 straight weeks. We did it 1 week about RJ Harvey. And then this week, we're saying, good job. Kudos, young man, for not doing the same thing, not making the same mistakes. We did it 17 straight Mondays a year ago with a running back that's no longer on the roster. That should be a great sign for Broncos country in itself, that the dude understands where he's making mistakes, fixes them 1 day of practice that you and I were there for, and then it translates to a game 6 days later.
Well, and I believe, and again, I'm emotional and opinionated, but this is something just of watching football forever. RJ Harvey could be the best back that Sean Payton's ever had.
Dude, that says a lot. You've gone over Kamara's numbers.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Now, Kamara's never had a 1,000-yard rushing season.
But his combined is what I'm talking about.
Yes, his combined is 1,500. Alvin Kamara is excellent. But if we take in Darren Sproles, if we take in Reggie Bush, if we take in Pierre Thomas, one of his favorites, right, undrafted Illinois. He was an Illinois guy, too.
Oh, nice.
Must love those Illini, like Pat Bryant. So if you take in all the backs that Sean Payton's had and had varying levels of success, Mark Ingram, right? I look at R.J. Harvey and his skill set. He could be the 1,000-yard rusher. He could be the 1,500-yard rusher. I'm not saying that this year. Don't at me, bro. But if we just take overall fit with Sean Payton and then add that to the skill set, Kamara's more powerful than R.J., but R.J.'s quicker. You better be quicker than that.
Yeah.
I'm almost as old as that guy. Like, you got to, and with R.J. Harvey, think about that. R.J. Harvey could be the best back Sean Payton's ever had. I've never said that before.
That's crazy.
And it's the God's honest truth. That's the upside that he's shown. And now with that discipline being there for sure, that could be the case. I'm rooting for that to happen because, one, it would mean great things for the Denver Broncos. If R.J. Harvey, is Bo Nix ever going to be better than Drew Brees?
Probably not.
You hater.
It's something where you go, okay, who's the best that Sean Payton's ever had, right? Is Pat Bryant ever going to be better than Michael Thomas?
Drew Brees was a hell of a quarterback,
Drew Brees was a multi-year 5,000-yard passer. 5,000 yards has only been done once in 1984 by Dan Marino. It wasn't done for like 30 years.
Now let me correct this for you, Kevin. Can he win as much as Drew did? Absolutely. Can he put up the numbers that Drew did? That's where I have my let's wait and see.
Well, and if RJ is the best back he's had, he won't need to put up the numbers that Drew did. Drew had to do that because they weren't as efficient at running the ball as they needed to be. But if we just look at Sean Payton's history and we merely ask that question, who's the best Sean's ever had at quarterback? It's Drew Brees. Can Bo be better than that? I want to see that. That's a debate. I think that's one of those great kind of sports bar debates. At the running back position, Alvin Kamara, pretty good. Can R.J. Harvey be better than him? I believe the answer could be yes. With Michael Thomas or, Marcus Colston. We go down the list. Jimmy Graham. Who's the best tight end that Sean Payton's ever had?
So far, Jimmy Graham.
It's Jimmy Graham. Well, they don't have a young guy because memo, everybody. Damari Mathis isn't making this team. Audric Estime's not making this team. And Caleb Lohner is not Antonio Gates or Jimmy Graham or Jimmy anybody. Like, he's just not. Not Jimmy Johnson, right? I'm just trying to think of the Jimmys that I can say on air.
Jimmy likes Elaine. Jimmy likes Elaine a lot.
That if we look at that way, kind of that point of view, can Sean Payton have the best running back he's ever had in RJ Harvey? I think the answer is yes.
That's a bold statement. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, isn't that yes?
Yeah.
We can't say yes about Bo. We just can't. Kev can, but Kev's crazy. We can't say yes about Bo. We can say, I want to see it. Like, is Bo Nix going to be a multi-year 5,000-yard passer? Probably not, because of the entire team around him. They didn't have the defense that the Broncos have.
Never. Not once.
And with that defense, listen, Drew Brees had to throw it 1,000,000 times because they had to come back all the time because they had a defense that wasn't as good. This Broncos defense could be best in the league, number one in the league. They're going to suffocate teams, meaning you can win against the Chargers 21-17, 21-13, whatever the number is. You don't need to throw it for 5,000 yards. So statistically, I think that's where you say Bo's probably not going to have the same sort of stats as Drew Brees. That's not saying he's not going to be better, Kev.
Yeah.
Because he's better in your hearts. He's going to win. He's going to win multiple Super Bowls, right? Drew Brees only got one. Bo Nix wins multiple Super Bowls, but doesn't have the 5,000-yard seasons. Well, then that's a conversation. But with RJ Harvey, think about it. We love Alvin Kamara. This is no disrespect. I believe Kamara, this is really off topic, I think he's the first guy that I ever saw with a septum piercing.
Oh, the bull ring thing?
Yeah, because he was at the combine. I was like, and Kamara's always like beat of a different drummer guy, which I like. Yeah. I like the Arian Fosters. I like the Clinton Portises. I like the guys that aren't the robot, to quote George Lucas, so you don't get that reference. But anyway, like.
I know C-3PO.
A robot?
Yeah.
All right. For me, like, Kamara's been that guy, and this is no disrespect to him, but RJ Harvey might have more upside and more potential. He might be that 1,000-yard guy plus having the 81 catches. Dude. And I know Kamara's been close, couple 900-yard seasons, whatever.
I would rip that damn bull ring. That'd be my only goal, is to rip that out of your nose every time I play you.
You'd be like when Ricky Williams had his dreads and everyone just pull him down by the dreads. It's the only way you could attack Ricky sometimes.
That's right. And what am I going to, I'm going to watch you run over me, or am I going to rip that thing out of your face as I'm falling backwards onto the ground in hopes that the pain will bring you to the ground as well?
And maybe you fumble the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. You reach for the nose, right?
Exactly.
All right, well, I know you're high on RJ. I love the conversation and the comp right there, and saying he could be Sean's best back ever. Tell me a little bit about what you saw out of Troy Franklin. You made an interesting statement earlier about that crowded wide receiver room. I've been so high on Troy Franklin after being so down on Troy Franklin a year ago because I only give the opinion on what my eyeballs are seeing. And last year I saw him drop a bunch of footballs, run good routes, but not catch the ball. So it doesn't count how good your route was run. This year I'm watching him, no wasted motions. Everything he's doing in his route running is for a reason. The catching is there. His hands are back. He's creating separation from cornerbacks while running routes and then in the air as the ball is on its way. I think Troy Franklin has been absolutely outstanding. It is a very crowded wide receiver room. How many extra reps is he earning himself with camp and preseason games?
He's earning a lot of extra reps because now you go in and you game plan for Troy. Before, you'd just be like, okay, go out there, run routes. If you're open, Bo will find you. Now, if you're Sean Payton, and what do we know about Sean Payton? He discovered electricity. He's the smartest guy in the room. Just ask him. And he's probably going to want to prove everybody that he was right about Troy Franklin. This is a guy that he was texting George Payton at 6:30 in the morning. Couldn't sleep. Going into day 3. How's this guy there in the 4th round? Oh, my God. And full disclosure, and this I went back at Oregon Trey on Twitter. Not really back at him, but I don't like the narrative of like, I told you Troy was the most awesome ever. And I'm like, well, dude, come on. He was terrible last
year.
Right. And now he's better. And full disclosure, a year ago, I would talk about how I had a 2nd-round grade on him, but I wasn't real proud of saying that. Why? Because he wasn't playing like that. And I know it's, 2nd round. Yeah, I mean, who's going to put him in the 1st? Nobody, unless you went to Oregon, apparently.
Yeah.
But it's like Troy Franklin, he's taken that from you're part of the team and, we'll see, to now you're part of the offense and I have to make stuff up for you. He almost did what Marvin Mims did. Mims did it during the season because he's so angry. Franklin did it in the offseason.
Yeah.
He just showed up and balled out. Like, we put eyes on Troy Franklin this year, and he's completely different. And it doesn't mean you were wrong about him last year. It also doesn't mean you were right. We were observing him going, he's big and he's got length and he's got speed. He can't catch. Then the Buffalo game happened, and maybe that should have kind of clued us into the future for Troy Franklin. But kudos to him for putting in the work and then coming back almost as a different person.
Definitely a different football player. I mean, he's oozing confidence. And you were around him more like practice situations because when I was at some of the games in the post-game setting, he was nowhere to be found. And no one needed to talk to him because he didn't do anything. Right. He oozes confidence now. Even just watching him around other guys. It's that, we've said this before, and Richie and I got into it a little bit yesterday when he was sitting in for you. That I know I belong moment and those feelings. Yeah. Dude, that does so much for your confidence of football player, radio show host, gas station attendant, whatever it is you're doing. I belong. I know what I'm doing here. Yes. Goes a long way. That's what the difference is with Troy this year.
Yeah, the difference with Troy is
it's assignment alignment, like we've been talking about with all these guys.
Right. He's ready for more. I think that's the way we should put it, is that he's ready for more, because more is what's demanded when you're fulfilling your capabilities. And you're checking all the boxes. Is he running routes? Yes. Is he blocking? Yes. Is he dialed into the game plan? Yes. Does he know his assignments? Yes. Are his hands good? Yes. There isn't a box out there that Troy Franklin isn't checking right now. Yeah. If you're Sean Payton. And what does that mean for Payton? One, he gets to smile. He's got to smile a little bit more, Sean. It's okay. Stop having 40-minute press conferences. Stop. It doesn't do anybody any good. It's terrible. Everyone at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit, is laughing right now. We appreciate you for listening to The Fan. But I look at this situation with Sean and I go, now he just gets hit everybody over the head with Troy Franklin. That's awesome. It's awesome for the Broncos.
The pecking order, the wide receiver room is still Cortland 1.
Yep. Marvin 2.
Marvin 2 for now. Like we've said, I think that's
two's fungible, flexible. Is that the same word?
It's fluid.
I like that.
It's fluid. It'll change from time to time.
Sure.
I think Troy Franklin's making a real big case for getting up in that pecking order a little bit. Then you have Devon Bailey and Pat Bryant. How do you look at a rookie that we have a lot of hope for? Yes. And then a second-year player that's been dealing with some injuries that was the second-best wide receiver for a good chunk of the season last year. What's the role for those two dudes now if the rest of these guys are going to command the ball this much?
Yeah, if the rest of the guys are going to command the ball that much, then it means you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. And if you're Devon Bailey, it means you might have to find another team. Pat Bryant is too good to not have a jersey. And I understand that some have suggested you're going to dress 6 because Trent Sherfield's playing.
Dude,
like it or not, Trent Sherfield's playing.
He's in the log jam too.
Yeah,
good call.
Yeah, and he's the veteran guy and he's the special teams guy, but he's certainly in the mix. He's the little Jordan Humphrey this year. He's going to play about 50% of the snaps offensively. That means either Pat Bryant or Devon Bailey are not getting a game day jersey unless you play 6 wide receivers, which is nuts. It's crazy. You can only activate 5, and that's the normalcy across the entire National Football League. And point blank period, and this is offended, but get as offended as you like, Devon Bailey is not good enough for you to change that rule. Sorry. That's just the case. If we were to rank these receivers, Sherfield, granted, that's a special teams, that's a veteran, it's a different category. But if we just rank these receivers, Pat Bryant's better than Devon Bailey.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
This isn't.
I just to the old John Foxy, what we like to do, the skins on the wall term.
Right.
I watched Bailey do it as a 7th-round player a year ago. Yeah. I've watched Pat do it at camp, and he's looked good in the last preseason game. It's just not to the same level. Now, I'm not telling you that Bailey needs more time than Pat Bryant. I just, wide receiver, cornerback, you need as much depth at some of those positions as possible. Offensive line still in that same boat. Right. Have to be a pretty interesting offer for me to be in the conversation of trading Devon Bailey.
Yeah, I think that you're not actively shopping him, but if someone were to call, you would listen.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
And if the Eagles are trading Harrison Bryant, a tight end, and a 5th-rounder for John Mechie, the Texans receiver. We'll remember him from Alabama. He beat cancer. We all should be rooting for John Mechie. They just traded a tight end and a 5th for a guy that's not near the talent that Devon Bailey is. But you might have missed your window in trading with Howie Roseman because he's crazy and he's addicted to trades, and I love him so much.
I'm sure you could talk him into something else.
You need another wide receiver, right, Howie? You need another one. How about another one? I think Howie'd probably bite. But, okay, there's teams out there that would be looking for a talent like Devon Vele. And it takes nothing away from Vele's game, nothing away from his development, nothing about the injury or anything that slowed him down. It just... And I don't know if it's the blue ribbon thing. I don't know why everyone thinks everything needs to be the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't say that Bryant's better than Vele. Yeah, I can. Because Pat Bryant's better than Devon Vele. And isn't that what you want? Don't you want competition? I'm not going to do the Dylan Gabriel thing. Don't you want competition amongst these wide receivers? Yeah. You've got a hell of a group here. And it leads to a lot of tough decisions, like the tough decision of your first username. Do you remember your first username? Can you even say it on the internet? You brought it up because we have our YouTube chat going on right now.
Yeah.
Hi, YouTube.
What up, YouTubers?
And some people have their regular names, like Mike Naylor. Mike's a regular. Mike, appreciate you.
Mike?
Donald's in here. It looks like Lawrence is in here as well. Victory Lap, though, is in here.
Okay.
And then Backyard Metal Man says we should call RJ and JK Venom and Carnage. It's a comic book reference.
That's kind of cool.
But I was thinking of your first username because you brought it up. My name on YouTube is Cecil Lammy 34. Hi there. So you used to be able to create your own, like when we first got emails, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And my first email, and I can't remember, I think it was LJ Rules, like 34, like Larry Johnson, like LJ Rules, but RULZ because I'm cool.
Yeah.
And you can still find, I think it was like a Bulls message board, where my old username handle, LJ Rules, is in there arguing like the Knicks got screwed by the refs because David Stern wanted the Bulls to win the championship. And then, Michael Jordan's awesome, but Larry Johnson and the Knicks. So, and I came across it probably, 10 years ago. I was just funning around or whatever. But your first username, do you remember what it was?
I'm trying to think.
Mine was LJ Rules. Like when I could have, what, email? That's a thing? And it's my name? And so message boards, I was LJ Rules. Email was like LJ Rules 34 at Hotmail or whatever.
Because there was like chat rooms on AOL that were used for multiple things. And one of the things that I used it for was, like, this is before cell phones.
Okay,
I didn't have a cell phone anyway. Everybody didn't have a cell phone. So, like, we'd watch, this is me, like, we didn't get a computer in my house until maybe like 9th, 10th grade. And I didn't get a cell phone until I was in 11th grade. We'd watch, like, the Nuggets games. And then, instead of like calling your buddy on a landline, you'd go, hey, 15 minutes after the Nuggets game's over, everybody log on to AOL and let's talk about the Nuggets game.
Okay.
And so that's what we would do. I'm trying to remember. It was Nuggets related. I know that.
Okay.
I bet you my dad knows. I'll have to ask him.
It's Nuggets related?
It's Nuggets related.
Was it Nug related?
It might have been both. I'm sure like 69, 420 something is in there. You know what I'm saying? Something's involved in that for sure.
Okay. Xbox will make you change your username now. Which is weird because on Call of Duty, if you blow someone up, you got the weed gun, and then it'll be like a marijuana leaf. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a second. So you're going to promote a game and buy skins.
They sold that guy.
Yeah, they sold the skins that are the marijuana guy.
Yeah.
Yet you're going to ban my buddy Luke, who's got like smoke weed every day, 420-something, Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, and they made him change his username.
That's ridiculous.
So now I don't even know when Luke's on because I don't know.
A new name.
His new name is something.
Yeah.
And he also had Colorado, like CO Warpig 91.
Oh,
they made him change his name.
I remember.
Yeah, but they made him change the name.
Really?
Because of war. And I'm like, what?
The
You're
game
playing
is
Call
about
of
war.
Duty. You're playing as Shark Boy. Like, what's going on?
That's a great skin right
Kev
there.
had a smile, eating grin on his face. Super quick, Kev. You remember your first username, wasn't it?
Well,
don't you?
I think my email was involving Kevin Garnett. So it was like Garnett21 at MSN.com or something.
And everybody's like, is your last name Garnett?
Yeah, because I was Baby KG. And then I remember on Xbox, the 360, my username was Celtic5. So it looked like Celtics, but 5 Garnett, Celtics.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
So put that on the license
plate. Rome from Loveland. First username, Drunk Ninja Nuts 69. Rome, that's badass.
Drunk Ninja Nuts 69. Only on this show.
I think I actually want to change mine to that now.
Only on this show. I know Mike Evans is going to be talking about Captain and Tennille and all that, and the Drive's going to be talking about what they talk about. Don't get offended. You're never going to get Ninja Nuts 69 anywhere but right here, Dover and Cecil. Tell a friend.
If you ever get a hate tweet from Camaro Guy 69, that might be me from time to time.